Welcome to the TNT Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, TNTomlinson, and I'm here with my co-host, Ironbar Boxing, and today we have a very special guest here with us. He is the former IBF lightweight champion of the world. His record as a pro is 23 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, with 11 wins by knockout. He fought former champions like Miguel Vasquez, Rancis Barthélemy, and George Kambosos Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, Mickey Bay.
So, what made you want to start boxing?
Just trying different things, just like you got a dad that looks supportive, I had the same thing, which is rare where I'm from. I had good parents, so the neighborhood grew up in it was a lot of crime, and so my parents would always believe in never leaving us, me and my siblings, too much idle time. They always kept us busy, so I played tennis, track, baseball, football, everything. So when I started boxing, I think I gravitated the most to that because it was an individual sport and it was all year round. So it wasn't seasonal like the other sports. So I think that's why I liked it, and I got kind of good at it pretty fast. So I think I just stuck to that.
And you're in Cleveland, so you actually have winter like we do in Canada, so there are seasonal sports.
Yeah, exactly. The weather, like I know it's crazy, man. That's why I live in Vegas.
Yeah. We would too. And so tell us about some of the fighters that you might have watched and admired and inspired you when you were growing up.
Sugar Ray Robinson. I like the old school fighters from like the 50s and the 40s and 50s, but I did like some guys. I like the old school era the best, but I met Mayweather when I was pretty young, probably around your son's age, a teenager.
Yeah.
I met Floyd Mayweather, and I was also up under Emmanuel Stewart. I don't know if you remember Tommy Hearns.
Of course, Milton McCrory, Hilmer Kenty, Michael Moore, so many great fighters out of that, and you too. So.
Your boxing. Actually, Emmanuel Stewart was one of my first sponsors, so I was actually living in Detroit too at a time, and I was back and forth. Cleveland and Detroit is pretty close, so I had a chance to train with the Klitschko's, Lennox Lewis, and I seen my man when I was younger, so I was lucky and blessed to be around those kind of people young, and that's what kind of drove me to become a professional and to stick with boxing.
Okay.
So how did you meet Emmanuel, and how did he become your trainer?
Well, actually, I met him because my dad it was kind of like a friendly bet. I don't know how he met him, but it was a friendly bet that I had a very good amateur team. We were winning all of the national tournaments, but we didn't bag. We didn't have anything. We just boxed each other on the floor, but we were beating everybody in the country. So it was kind of a friendly bet. Like Emmanuel said, if we came up there and beat his guys, that he'd help us and buy us a gym. And I went up there and fought him, and I won an impressive fight. He stuck to his word. He fought me, my dad, my teammates, a real boxing gym in Cleveland, and he actually even helped me to get my first car and everything. So he helped us a lot. Rest in peace to Emmanuel Stewart. But yeah, he did a lot for us, and he was a great man.
Yeah, we were all very upset because we thought he's the type of guy you want to live forever, right? Because he gave a lot to his fighters and he gave a lot back to boxing, and he was on HBO for us every week, right? So he was like part of the backdrop of us watching boxing. So it was very unusual to have him gone. And even when I was a little kid, Thomas Hearns would be, he was very famous. So you'd always see Emmanuel Stewart and Thomas Hearns, and he was like 40 years, even in Canada where hockey's like the big sport, but just he was part of the backdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it came kind of out of nowhere. Like, it just, I didn't know he was sick or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it came out of thin there. So yeah, that was, but he made a lot of contributions to the sport. So and me and my family personal. So I was definitely blessed to be a part of what he done.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, how did you get the nickname the Spirit?
Well, I kind of moved through a few nicknames. Now I'm the time machine. Yeah, because I just turned 40 like a week ago, and I'm still able to compete. And my goal is to become the oldest world champion in my division. Which I hope to accomplish it by the end of next year. Because I'll never fight after that. I took some years off to
Yeah.
I was training a few world champions. That's what I stopped for a few years, but I kept my health together and all that. I'm gonna give it one more go before I hang it up.
Yeah. So you want to be the Archie Moore for your weight class?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if I can do it all the way that long. I feel like I might have a couple years at least, but yeah, that's my goal. Sure. Yeah, I'm more of a throwback fighter. I had a lot of unfortunate situations in my career with management and stuff that kind of stopped me from being a superstar in the sport. I got a good name and everything, but I didn't get a chance to get a lot of the big fights. And I'm sure everybody hear about the horror stories in boxing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I got wrapped up in it, but I learned a lot. I'm also promoting too. I did about 5 or 6 shows, so I hope to become one of the biggest promoters in the game in the future as well.
Babe Rose Promotion, right?
Yeah, that's me and my brother. My brother does a lot of he does most of the leg work and stuff like that. He was also a good fighter as well.
Yeah.
He actually, before he moved out here with Mayweather first.
Wow.
How much older is?
Well, I'm the oldest.
Oh.
It's funny. I'm 15 months
old. Okay.
Wow.
But he way flight moved out here to Vegas and never turned back. So I pretty much follow him out here, to be honest with you.
Okay. So tell us how it felt when you beat Miguel Vasquez to win the IBF lightweight title.
It felt good because it was a long time coming. I was supposed to actually, the plan was for me to fight for a belt with 10 pro fights and beat Oscar De La Hoya's record. I think he had 11.
Yeah.
That was in our division at the time.
Yes.
I think Leon's had a record in 7 fights, but
yeah.
So it was good. I won actually with an injured hand, and I had to get surgery right after the fight. So for me to be the fighter that accomplished with one hand was like a blessing, and one of the best nights of my life because that's when I was supposed to become a superstar after that, and a lot of turmoil happened after that, but I can't complain because I still want a belt, and hopefully I can get one more before it's over.
Yeah. Speaking of which, why did you decide to vacate your IBF title?
You said why did I?
Yeah, why did you vacate the belt?
Oh, that's where the horror story came in on the bed. My manager, he made a deal without me knowing. My hand was still injured from the surgery. He made a deal. He made a premature deal. The deal that he told me I was willing to take, but he sent me a contract and it was a totally different deal. So I was supposed to be on the co-main event of the Mayweather and Pacquiao, which is the biggest card in history.
Sure.
Crazy, yeah.
But he sent the contract for a whole nother card with way less money. So I wasn't willing to fight with my hand, wasn't even ready. But I would have took that chance on the Mayweather and Pacquiao card. But that wasn't the case. My manager was young at the time, so he made an error, and that kind of set me back for a while.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like our last podcast was with Tim Witherspoon, who also kind of had some managerial problems during his time as well.
Yeah, it's getting better now. Honestly, to be real, like this is the best era for boxing in the business. These kids just don't understand how good they got it. When I hear their complaints, I'm like, believe me.
Yeah.
Take that run with it because when I was younger, it was totally different. Like it wasn't even. You couldn't speak the way guys now they can demand certain paydays and even before they win titles, they're already millionaires, and that was unheard of when I was younger. So it's different now because we got this. Like we on Zoom and we got
Yep.
more. It's more a voice, and you got social media.
Yeah.
Then any of that, so it was different.
Well, it's amazing because when I was a kid, I grew up in a small town in Ontario, the province where we lived, and it was so hard to find boxing on TV. And my friend would like leave his house unlocked for me on the weekend when his parents went to the cottage so I could go in and watch fights. So now, as you know, I'm 51, so we stream stuff, we watch old fights on YouTube, we can talk with you, we could watch interviews. It's just night and day. Like being a boxing fan 40 years ago in Canada, it wasn't hard, but it was just hard to follow the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick, you wouldn't understand with the media and
Yeah.
so yeah, it's you did you guys got
Yeah.
advantage. It's some disadvantages too, though. I tell the younger guys because we had to pretty much we didn't have cell phones and all this stuff so
Yeah.
I think fighters got more lazier, but it's easier to make the money and the exposure. But it's not like even before me, well before me, it was just like more. I respect like the older athletes. The older times that you get into, the harder it was, but the better the talent because we got so many luxuries now. You really can't complain. It's like you could make your own way almost.
Yeah. It's easy because it's easier now because I said actually having to go to like a press conference and take a long car ride to a press conference. I can just communicate with you through Zoom, obviously. Yeah. So.
Yep. So it's good that you taking advantage of it because you gotta take advantage of these things. This technology and it's good that you're doing it young because you just get practice and who knows you might be the next Emmanuel Stewart or commentator or one of those things. So it's good that you getting to practice early.
Yeah.
Because it's good. Toronto, it's some good. It's a Gene Pascal and
Yep.
you got from there now, and it's been some big fights.
Better be a transfer.
Yeah, he's Quebec, so he's Montreal. But that's for us, we measure everything how far to drive. That's 6 hours away, but from where I grew up, that's 2 hours away in Montreal. And but it's still part of it, right? It's still Canada. It's still part of our fabric because he's a Canadian guy now, even though he might have been born somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a lot of Canadians. A few good Canadian fighters in Vegas.
Yeah.
There's
Pascal I think he might be in Vegas or it could be Florida, but yeah, definitely out there. So what would you say is the toughest fight of your career?
It probably was some of the early fights because sometimes I took fights just on a week notice.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is. You don't know the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The earlier fights, you don't know who they are, and you don't know if it's their real record. Sometimes they got 3 different records.
Yeah.
That's the other thing with boxing, right? It's not like tennis or football or something where you know who you're gonna play and their record and
you have footage.
So.
Or you don't have that. The guy they can have a record would be the toughest fight because they got experience, and so it was probably some of my earlier fights where I just jumped in and just fought without being in my best fighting shape, but I was in just decent shape. And when you're younger, you fight grown men. It's harder because when you're in your early 20s and even you're still not fully developed.
Yeah, you're still growing.
That's why if you look at Floyd, a lot of his harder fights were when he was in his early 20s. He was better in his 30s than his 20s.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
He had experience, so when you're younger, it's kind of like resistance. You fight, and then it's a pride thing. You got a guy that's 35 that might be fighting a 22, 23-year-old. You kind of I can't let this kid beat me. I can't let this young guy. It's like you only get a few nowadays that can overcome that.
So, as somebody who's a fan of old time fighters, if there was anybody you could fight from any era, maybe just a few pounds north and south of your weight class, who would you like to fight?
Um,
I know that's
let
an.
me think.
Hmm.
That's a good question. Probably Salvador Sanchez. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because I would like a chess match. You remember Salvador Sanchez?
Absolutely, a great Mexican featherweight. He died way too young.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite fighters. He was smart. Somebody like that to have a good chess match. Somebody or even a Roberto Duran when he was lightweight, like somebody that's just tough and to see how we're overcoming.
Absolutely. Don't pick any easy guys there.
Yeah.
Well, no, I want to fight the best.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, youth, and what sort of advice, now you're 40, would you give yourself when you were in your 20s, just starting out in the fight game?
Honestly, I would say, I was always disciplined and kind of lived like a clean life. So I never had like the trouble problems that you hear with a lot of the guys, like as far as, but one thing that I would say is just go with the flow of the business and take my shortcomings early, because by me kind of you can't change the way this game is. Like everybody says, even though it's way better now, like
right.
You might not, with me and your dad know about the corruption of the sport, because now it's not too bad. But I would say I would have just rolled with the punches, and I'm sure by now I would have been a 5-time world champion if I just if I didn't really worry about the business shortcomings so much and just kept fighting and didn't worry about times I got screwed, or because getting screwed early in your career doesn't really mean much.
Right.
By me kind of resisting it set me back some years, and then it happened later in my career, which was worse, because
right.
I would say, like, you just got to roll with the punches unless it's just so bad that you can't. But I would also say to get some mentors so you can have a second opinion, because when you in your early 20s, you really don't know what you think you know. Even mid-20s, even now, I still get advice. So I would say to always get a second and third opinion, like with some mentors, because you get a lot of fighters that make mistakes. Like, you could see guys, and sometimes that's why when fighters say they're depressed or this and that, you got to have the right people around you and have the right mentors, because some stuff might not be as bad as you think. Wish I would have really realized that, like, at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad. Like, I could have just rolled with the punches and stayed with my management instead of splitting with them. And I laugh and joke about it now with my old manager, because one of them was James Prince, who managed.
Yeah.
Now he manages Shakur, he managed Andre Moore, Floyd, whether you know who that is.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Actually, he managed y'all got the biggest rapper in the game, Drake. His son does.
That's crazy.
So, now what do you have any predictions for us? Patrick wanted to ask you about a couple of upcoming fights. I don't know if you're still following all the younger guys, but so what do you want to know, Patrick?
So Inoue versus Fulton, that's coming up in a.
Man, you know what? I was just talking about that yesterday with one of my friends. I'm rooting for Fulton because I know him. But man, that's a 50-50 fight. It's kind of like an uphill battle because he's going to his hometown to fight. So going back to the business and the fairness, like if it's close or if he edges him, would they give it to Fulton?
Yeah.
Because that down here, bro, Japan is a whole nother.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like guys are super duper stars over there. Like it's different. Like it's when you are big over there, it's a whole nother like stratosphere. So I think it's honestly a 50-50 fight because of Fulton's size. He's a huge super bantamweight. So I think that this really is a 50-50 fight. I think whoever just fights the has the best night, because either one of them could beat you, I think, at any given night.
Yeah. Speaking of like fan love and stuff like that, I saw Fulton like got recently when he I think got off the plane or something like that. Like lots of fans like were waiting for him over there, so it was very interesting seeing him there.
I can imagine. So it's kind of hard to overcome. you got to win very decisive. That's my opinion of a place like that. Because anyway, it's probably like Bruce Lee over there.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
What's the next big one coming up, Patrick?
Spence versus Crawford. That's the.
Yeah, that's another one. I got to rock with Crawford because we lived together. We were roommates before.
Oh man.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm friends with both of them. I like them both a lot. That's another coin toss. I mean, literally, you could flip a coin. If any of them, whichever one slips, will lose. That's how close it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's only like a 1% edge, I would say, Crawford. But if he slips just 3%, he can lose to Spence. Like, it's no outcome of that fight is surprising at all.
So we're very excited for that one coming up. And what's the third one you were thinking of, Patrick?
Canelo versus Charlo.
Man, that's another. You must be a diehard fan, Patrick.
We watch a lot of boxing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what's funny about this. Matter of fact, I got a video where Charlo had brought my name up. I used to spar with him like every 3 days a week.
Wow.
Because see, he was bigger, but he was younger, so I had the age and experience advantage, and he had the size advantage, so it kind of made it even out. So they were always so competitive that they just wanted to keep sparring every other day, probably for about a year, because they wanted to get better and better.
Yeah.
And so I know about this willpower just because of thinking back then, like it's like you literally to me just named the best 3 50-50 fights this year. Like honestly,
crazy.
You literally, like honestly, any of those fights, like Canelo.
Yeah.
I give him a slight edge, like but I think that Charlo can possibly pull it out if he doesn't, if his weight doesn't bother him and slowing him down.
Yes.
Like, even though he walks around heavy, it's a different fight that you fight 14 pounds heavier. So I think that his weight, he need to manage his weight good, not get too heavy, so he's not too slow. But I think that all these fights literally is a coin toss. If any man slips, you could literally probably flip it. Now that one I'll say is Canelo might be the heavier favorite in all of these. I think that he has the best chance to win, but me knowing Charlo's determination since he was a kid, it's just like, man, it's hard for me to go against him because, I mean, when we were boxing, I think he might have been 17, or I'm about maybe 6 years older, so I probably was 23 and he was about 17.
Yeah.
He was at least 18, 17. I was 24, 23. So, and we boxed like 100 times, like 200 times.
That's crazy, yeah.
Like, no, I want to keep boxing him, like, so I can get my skills together because he was young. So, just seeing his determination is I can't count him out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in there. Either way, that fight is going to be close. Either one of them out knocked out. Somebody can get knocked out in these other 2 fights that you named.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
And this one, I see it going to 12 rounds. I see them all going 12, but mainly this fight.
Yeah.
But they both take great punches. But they both like to kind of exchange. But Canelo got to experience the edge, and he's patient. You can't really make a mistake against him because you could be down on the scorecards. Canelo could be down on the scorecards, and then he can catch you late.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Canelo can't lose a lot of the rounds. The same with Spence. Like, he can't get, Crawford, he can't get behind.
Yes.
This fight. Him or Canelo can't let these guys get a lead on it because you might not knock these guys out.
Yes.
So that's the thing with those guys.
So yeah, we're very excited about those fights. So what about you? Which fighter that you're working with should we keep our eye on, and are you most excited about?
Honestly, with me, I kind of pick and choose. Like, training is hard. Like, it's harder than being a fighter, to be honest, because you're dealing with different personalities, different issues, and it's not just the training part. So I was blessed to have a few elite fighters that I worked with so far. So I kind of got lucky stepping out straight with that. And hey,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was the first fighter I trained, so that was like easy, you know,
Crazy.
because I don't have to tell him to run. You know, I don't have to tell him what to do. I got to hold him back if anything. The last fighters I worked with was just Shakur Stevenson and Jared Anderson.
Yeah.
Jared Big Baby Anderson. So
Yeah, he fought a week or two ago, I think. Yeah. Like Charles Martin.
Yeah, he fought Martin, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he fought Charles Martin. Yeah, like a week or two ago.
I worked with him his last fight, the one before this one. So honestly, I was blessed to be able to work with.
Yeah.
I worked with Edgar Langer for a fight. So I really worked with some top level guys that were, you know, they didn't, you know, I didn't have to drag them out of bed to do this and that because I'm not going to do that. Like, I got an old school mentality, even though I'm young enough to be able to add to their social media and having the cameras and stuff like that. But Devin Haney, I think, you know, him and Shakur, out of everybody I trained, are the two right now that you can almost say is going to be pound for pound in the next 2 to 3 years. And
absolutely.
I think it'd be, I think between those two and even Jared, the heavy Boots is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Close with him. I mean, Jabron Ennis. I think between those three, those four, one of them would be the pound for pound champion. Like in about once Terrence and all those guys give it up in a few years, one of them. But Devin was Devin is the one I trained extensively. I trained him. We both pretty much came under the Mayweather school of boxing. Being that his dad Mayweather Senior trained me pretty much my whole. So I was able to pick up all of that knowledge and pick up some from Mang Stewart and different places. So you know, training wise, when I'm, you know, I can't train everybody. Like, you know, it's hard. Like, it's not too hard for me, but it's just like I would have to train a guy that's very serious and that's really going to fight to be the best. If it's not that, I can't just, no matter how much money is there, if it's not a right fit, I can't do it.
You can't be somebody's dad, you know what I mean? You can be their teacher.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's training because you literally spend, like I was spending 10, 12 hours in the gym a day.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Like, you know, and I was the only one at the time that I was getting paid from was Devin Haney, but I didn't mind it because I learned and you know, and I got still close bonds. Like my fighters still call me every day almost, or at least every week, and I still talk with stuff like that. But Devin was the one that really got me into it because he, you know, I wasn't really thinking about training. I knew I would be a good trainer, but when Devin Haney called me, I'm kind of like, all right, it might make sense.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, I got, you know, maybe this might be a good thing when I'm finished fighting, which now I'm kind of on the cusp of being done. I probably got a few more fights in me, but Devin and Shakur and guys like that, I could easily work with those guys.
Yeah.
You know, we were in Miami a couple of months ago, and we met up with one of your old opponents, Francis Barthélemy, and and if people knew how hard fighters train, because his warm up would be, and I'm sure yours as well, would have killed anybody who wasn't competing in boxing or maybe some elite long distance type of cardio sport. Like, it was just incredible. I was getting tired watching it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's funny to mention that because Francis lives in Vegas too, and I just seen him at the grocery store like 2 weeks ago.
That's hilarious. Yeah, they were. I mean, all these Cuban guys in Miami. So we also, you know, we also saw. Well, he's not Cuban, but who did we see? Sergey
Kovalev.
Yeah. So he's.
Miami is a big hub as well. Vegas, Miami. Like if you in New York, I'll say New York, Houston. If you want to see a lot of fighters, you can be in Miami, LA, Vegas. Of course, Vegas is the capital.
Yeah, Vegas really is.
Like literally, it's the gym on every corner almost. Like where I'm at right now at the house, within 10 minutes is probably like 10 boxing gyms.
It's I mean, I've been to Vegas once, definitely go again, maybe when this guy's a little bit older so we
Yeah.
can, get into more places.
Lastly, before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to promote?
I mean, no, I just tell everybody just to stay tuned, and just be on the lookout for me as a promoter, my next fight, and possibly training again.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, thanks. Nice to meet y'all.
Nice
to meet
meeting
you.
you. Great talking to you. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Hello, TNT Tomlinson here. I've operated this YouTube channel for more than 3 years. I don't ask for any compensation, but you could help me support a cause I strongly believe in. A Better Future for All is a non-profit organization that assists Ukrainians fleeing the unprovoked Russian invasion of their homeland. A Better Future has provided material support, but just as importantly, helped Ukrainians find places to live and jobs to support themselves. They are continuing to do this, but can't do it alone. A Better Future is asking for any financial contributions you can make. No donation is too small, and no donation is too large. Use the link below to donate. Please know that your generosity is being put to good use, and you are making a difference for the better in the lives of people who desperately need it. Thank you.